Well, today we're going to be talking about a warm-up, specifically one adapted from the Bigger, Faster, Stronger program. Normally there's a little bit of movement before we go into stretching, but this is the stretching portion of the warm-up. So I'm just going to give you an overview and then I'm going to jump into what this looks like. So they basically break it down so it's easy to remember is 1 on the bench, which we're not going to do it on a bench, we're going to do it on the floor. So we're going to say 1 on the floor. Then they're going to break it down into 2 in the air. So you're going to stand back up. We're going to have 2 stretches above our heads, behind our back. Then there's going to be 3 against the wall, which I'll perform for you. And then we're going to do 4 minutes on the floor. 4 minutes on the floor might be a little bit confusing because there's 5 stretches, but they break it up and they end up being about 4 minutes long of stretching themselves. So I'm not going to do the full time on the stretch. I'm going to explain the stretch. But I'm just going to walk you through the stretching routine so you can see a little bit of what this looks like. So for the first one, it's 1 on the bench, but we're going to perform it 1 on the floor. I'm going to get down right here. We're going to start with our right foot forward and our left foot down on the ground. Our kneecap is going to be bent in. It's going to be laying on the ground as close as we can get, and we're going to take our heel and press it up to our groin. Okay? So from this position, we're going to lead it, and we're going to lean forward as much as we can. As much as we can. We're going to repeat this movement on the other side of the body. So I performed it with the right side first. This is stretching out our hamstrings, back of your legs right here. And I'm going to repeat this on the left side. So that's going to be 1 on the floor. After I'm done with 1 on the floor, I'm going to do 2 in the air. So we stand back up, and we take our hands right in front of us, we cross them, so straight forward in front of you, twist them. It's a little bit of a weird movement. Left hand's going to be facing outward, right hand's going to interlock with the one facing outward, and you're going to interlock your fingers. So it's going to look like this. You're going to take these and put them above your head. Don't bend your arms, keep them as straight as you can. And you're just going to pull it back as much as you can. This is going to stretch out your lats, which are the muscles right here. Used a lot for pulling and pressing. And it's going to be stretching your upper back. And what I like to do, I kind of add this on, is I bend my arms after I stretch that for a good 10-20 seconds. And I pull it to one side. Then I pull it to the other side just to get a little bit more of a stretch. I kind of added that in there. After that, 1 more behind you, same idea, you cross your arms, you interlock them. Push your elbows straight back, so they're as locked as you can, and you're just gonna lift your hands up as high as you can. What this stretches is your pectoral muscles, parts of your back, and up here in your traps, your neck and your upper back. Okay? So now we've completed 1 on the floor, 2 in the air. This is gonna be 3 against the wall. So what we're going to do for our first one is we're going to stretch out, actually for the 3 we're going to stretch out our Achilles, which is the muscle right back here, underneath your calf. It's what really does a lot of our movement with our ankles moving. It's very important for jumping, flexibility, performing squats properly, performing running properly, performing jumping properly, our balance. So this muscle right here getting stretched out is very important, so don't take it lightly, even though it's a tiny muscle. We're going to be stretching our calves. And then we're going to be stretching out our quadriceps, which we talked about. We stretch out the hamstrings in the back, we're stretching out the quadriceps in the front. So we'll start with the Achilles. What it's going to look like is we're going to put our right leg forward. You can just start with the right leg, left leg behind you. And what we're going to do is we're going to bend our leg that's behind us in a little bit. So we're going to bend it in. Instead of it being locked, we're going to bend it in. And you should be feeling the stretch in your Achilles. Like I said, it's right above your heel. It's the muscle that goes into your calf. So we're just going to sit on that for just a second. If you don't feel it, bring your right foot forward, or the foot that's in front forward a little bit. That helps stretch it out. Or if you don't feel it, bend your kneecap down a little bit. Both those things will help you locate it. If you're not feeling the stretch correctly, mess around with it, feel it out until you're performing it correctly. So we're going to do that on the left side, then we're going to switch. We're going to do the same exercise on this side, And then we're gonna move into our calf stretch, which the calf's gonna look very similar to the Achilles. It's actually gonna be a little bit simpler. We're gonna do the same thing that we did with our Achilles, except we're not gonna bend our knee down. We're just gonna keep it locked. And if you're not feeling the stretch, which this one's a little bit easier not to, you put your front foot forward and just lean into it a little bit. You'll feel it if you lean forward into it. You should be feeling this one pretty easy though. When you're putting your hands against the wall, you want to look straight into the wall or whatever you're leaning against. Both hands forward, chest up, kind of in a prominent position. In the program, they talk about really looking into where you're stretching as if you're running a sprint and you're locking eyes with the finish line. So don't take your eyes off that. So just like I said with the first one, swap to the other side, stretch both sides out. After you're done with this, you can take your right or your left side. I'm going to take my right side first, and we're going to grab the front part of our foot and hold it up there. Have our body straight in alignment. It's easier if you can just brace against the wall. And you're going to pull this up as high as you can. I'm going to move it sideways real quick. Don't pull your leg off to the side. Keep your body as straight as you can. And you want this straight up and down, like as much as possible. Put your leg down, do the opposite side, straight up and down. Like I said with the sprinter, just keep your chest up, just keep it in a normal, just athletic position, normal, good posture. So there's 3 against the wall. Now we're gonna do 4 minutes on the floor. And we're gonna start 4 minutes on the floor with what they call a groin stretch or a butterfly stretch. So how this is performed is we get down on the ground and we take our heels and put them together, feet together, heels touching, balls of our feet touching. And we're going to take our hands right here at our ankles and we're going to pull it close into our groin. For someone who's not the most flexible, it's going to be harder to get it all the way touching to your groin, but you want to work your way into a place of flexibility where you can do that. So I want you to take your hands, put them right here on the top of your feet, and hold them close here because your feet will start slipping away from you if you don't. And then I want you to take your elbows and I want you to gently press down. Again, the goal is to get your, I said elbows right here, pressing into right here. But the goal is to get your knees and the rest of your leg touching all the way to the floor. You just pause on this. This is really good. If you're not feeling it, you're not doing it right. And if you're not feeling it, bring your feet closer together and press a little bit more down on your knees because you will feel it. Okay, so after you complete that one, we go straight from that one to this one right here, which is a adductor stretch. The adductor is a small muscle on the inside of your leg. Very important for sideways moving and just again a lot of athletic movement. So what you're going to do is you're going to spread out. If you can do splits, very impressive. I can't, not right now this moment. I'm working towards it. And what you want to do is, let's see if you can actually see my foot. You can't. Okay, I'll come sideways like this. You're going to spread your legs out. You're going to put your toes up. You want them pointing up, your toes pointing straight up. And what you're going to do is you're going to just lean into it. You're going to lean into it. If you have grass, you can grab some of that grass and kind of pull you into it, but you just want to slowly ease your way into it. And again, you're working your way to be able to touch your forehead with the ground. It is possible. At one point, I was able to do that, but I'm working my way back into it. Okay? After that, there's a stretch that's going to be stretching out the gluteus maximus. This one's a little bit, not complicated, but just pay attention closely. What it's going to look like is we're going to take, let's just start with our right leg first. We're going to take our left leg right here, take our foot and cross over to the other side of the right leg. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I'm going to take my body, my torso, and move it to the left. I'm going to take this elbow right here and just put a little bit of pressure. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be twisting back because I'm stretching my torso out. And at the same time, I'm taking this elbow and putting pressure. So I'm moving this leg across my body and I'm really getting a good stretch in my glutes. This is really important for just loosening all this up. Your glutes can be your glutes are some of your strongest muscles, and they can also be some of your tightest muscles because they're normally not stretched out. So twisting back, putting the pressure on your leg so you're feeling that good stretch in your rear end. With this exercise, you're going to be doing both sides, so I'll walk through the second one quickly. Put your feet back together. So left foot forward this time. I'm going to give a little bit of a different view so you can see it here. Feet together. I'm going to take my right foot up. It's going to move across my body. I'm going to take my torso and twist it backwards. Take my elbow and press it on my knee, and I'm going to lean. So I'm going to take my torso and look backwards. And at the same time of me looking backwards, I'm taking my elbow and pressing it towards the other side of my body. So right now it's my left side of my body. And my body's working in unison, even though it's kind of doing a little bit of a twisting move. It's stretching my glutes and my torso out. Okay, feet back together. So I said there's 5 stretches. We completed 3 of them. Now we're gonna complete the last 2. We're gonna be stretching out really our hip flexors, which is really, a lot of people don't know how to stretch out their hip flexors. This is how you do it. This is very important for just squatting in proper depth and not cramping while you're squatting, and just be able to do a lot of jumping, hinging motions, deadlift, squats, any movement that would really include you bending over. As you can imagine, there's tons of stuff. So how we're going to complete this is we're going to take this and we're going to get in a little bit of a lunge position. Right foot forward, left foot back. And it's going to be a little bit of an exaggerated lunge. So this can be a little bit more forward than we normally would do. And we're just going to stand straight up and we're just going to lean forward into it. Yep. If you're doing it right, you should be feeling it in your groin a little bit, with some of the muscles coming down off from the groin down into your legs, and you should be feeling it in the different parts of your hips. So we do it on, I'll do right foot forward like I did here, and then we're going to swap that movement, left foot forward, same thing. I need to exaggerate a little bit more, but it's going to be right about here. These are ones you're going to want to sit a little bit longer into. This is one that you're going to really want to stretch it out for a good 30 seconds and just put a lot of work into, because it's very important not to cramp in these areas while you're moving. And here's the very last one called the Cobra Stretch. It's very popular in yoga. I'll actually get a little bit of a sideways view for you. So you're going to stretch your whole body out. Here. I'm going to open this door up. Give a little extra room for my legs. It's a little too long for the camera. So we're going to get in a little bit of a push-up position, but we're going to let our legs and our knees and really our groin just go all the way down to the floor. And we're just going to hold it there. Again, we're going to push our chest up. Just get loose. It's really stretching our abs out. It's really stretching our lower back out. Just ease into it. We're going to go from stretching just our abs and our lower back out, just easing into it, just sitting, to putting our hands in front of us, gripping the ground. If you can actually grab a hold of the ground, don't grab a hold of it, but just push very tightly on the ground and squeeze your body back. So slowly go back as if you're going into a bowing position, but you're pushing your pressure of your palms on the floor. And it just helps stretch out your lats and your upper back just a little bit more, because you can't get enough work just really stretching out your upper back. All right. And that's the Bigger, Faster, Stronger stretching program. And this can be coupled with many other warm-ups, but this is the stretching portion of the warm-up. Hope you enjoyed it.